Yo guys, Theo here, Uncommon Sense. I'm actually here at the tail end of a 5-day fast, feeling great. It's been an amazing fast. I started it on Sunday after dinner. It's now Friday morning and I'll be breaking it in a couple of hours, but not on camera this time because well, I did that in the last video I put out after the last fast I did, and the breakfast meal is the exact same thing, so you can just go back to the previous video. Watch that if you want to know. Maybe I'll let a little clip roll here or something. But yeah, in this video I just want to catch up a bit with you guys, tell you why I did a 5-day fast, and share some fasting tidbits that I've just been thinking about throughout the fast. So to be honest, it's been quite a difficult year for me. There's been a lot of change, just several real life stuff, things, I guess, happening, and I found myself a lot of the time in a depressive state. Like, I wouldn't say I've been full on depressed, but I've just had very, very low motivation to do things outside of like the things I consider essential, like, you know, work, training, not much extra productivity outside that, and I've even had a hard time just finding joy in any kind of downtime activity. And I know this sounds kind of grim, kind of dark, but the thing is, from what I've been through in my life, like, first of all, I have my panic attack episode to compare anything to, and nothing is ever as bad as that. So, you know, we have that, but also I've come to learn that this is just the cycles of life. You will be in higher states when everything seems to be going your way and you're just feeling great, and you'll have lower states where you just feel the opposite, you know. So I've become very good at navigating it and, you know, distancing myself from it more, you know. But so that's just how it's been, and to figure stuff like that out, you know, you have to figure out, like, what do I feel is lacking in my life? What changes can I do, you know? And so I've been working through it a lot, like by just doing introspective work and talking to friends, you know, and I've been feeling a lot better. But so I've talked about this on the channel before, that fasting is great for mental health, actually. Like, fasting in and of itself can't, like, cure you feeling depressed or down, you know, if you have real life issues causing that, but it will give you perspective on the whole thing, right? And so I've figured, like, right at the end, when I start to feel a lot better, you know, why not pull a longer fast to get into that higher state and rise again like a phoenix from it. So that's why I decided to do a little longer fast. After my last fast, I talked about, this is a tidbit I can share, you know, that after my last fast, which was 60 hours, I talked about it being more difficult than usual for me. And of course, different signals the body gives us, you know, if we feel weak or we feel hungry or have some kind of craving, ideally, when everything in your body is working the way it should, you can trust those signals, right? But when you have corrupted your body when we're talking about fasting, by eating too much fast food, eating too frequently, all of that, eating too much, you know, you can no longer trust the signals your body sends you. So I'm saying this for someone that's like newer to fasting or still struggling with that kind of addiction, that you can't necessarily go by how you feel when you determine how to go about your fast. But when that's why I also preach for, like, beginners, like, set an exact number of hours you fast, and until you got the skill of fasting down, do that, and then you can be a little bit more pragmatic with the exact amount of hours, you know. And so I did a 60-hour fast, and I felt like that was, since fasting is an overwhelming majority of the time, is just not that difficult for me. I feel good throughout it. When I struggled some with this one, I figured out, okay, apparently I am deficient in something right now. It's probably not a good idea to go on too aggressive with the fasting again. Let's take some time to recover, eat, you know. So I didn't go on a fast like immediately. The next Sunday, because Sunday is when I usually start the fast. I gave it one more week, and then I did this fast with an open-ended plan of going like a minimum 60 hours, but if I feel good, I will extend it to with a max being today. And so I've just been feeling really good on this fast. It worked, whatever I did for my recovery in between the fasts, and Yeah, so that's why we ended up with a longer fast. It's of course also, I am on a cut, I'm cutting weight. Doing a little longer fast doesn't exactly hurt for that. Because it's longer, I'm not going to start one on this Sunday, but I will probably do another 60-hour fast or so the Sunday after this one. After, yeah, eating and training again, basically. Like, it's all about when you do the combo bodybuilding and fasting, it's all about in between the fasts, like, give your muscles kind of what they need, with the food and training, and then you fast, cut the weight. Well, so I have a little list here of things I have been thinking about during the fast. Well, we can talk about, the states. I'll just mention what a state is. We can find ourselves in different states. If I say, we all know that we can feel good and bad and all that, right? But have you been thinking about that? Not sometimes not quite as isolated, like, oh, right now I'm feeling good, but you find yourself like, the last few weeks I've been feeling like this, or you are in a certain state. And for instance, I think everyone can relate to, I love doing this when I feel like this, or this is such a pain to do when I feel like this. I wish I was feeling like I did last time I did, that kind of thing. And fasting is just interesting. It makes you very aware of this, because you will inevitably, when you enter ketosis and you haven't eaten for days and a lot of things change in your body, you will really understand what the state thing is. And it's, again, I'm just bringing it up because if you're in kind of a low state, the depressive state that I talked about, that I've been in, the fasting, one thing it does, it will change so much for you that you will inevitably get like perspective on this, because you're just going to feel so differently on the fast. So I think I'm going to talk more about states in future videos, like not necessarily related to fasting, but I just wanted to mention it because I've been thinking about it during the fast. Again, something you've heard me say many times probably, the saunas are just amazing on the fast. Like, even 24 hours fasted, if you do the sauna, because both are anti-inflammatory, like it makes the joint so smooth. It really hits in another way when fasted, the sauna. And so I've been doing that, I think, every day this fast. Maybe I skipped it one day, but we had one day when I was, I guess, 48 hours plus into the fast, when I went with a buddy and we really went ham on like long sauna sessions and long cold shower sessions in between. And afterwards, I just, you get a little wiped out, but like physically, your body is just, it's so comfortable to be in, it's just, everything is smooth. I've been thinking about injury healing during this fast, like fasting and injury healing. And of course, some people take it too far, like fasting is just amazing for anything, it will heal anything. But of course, if something has broken in your body, it can't be the absence of, putting in anything in your body that rebuilds it, right? You need building blocks from food, protein, collagen, different micronutrients, etc. But I concluded in my experience with fasting and injuries is I first even started thinking about the two together when I had a shoulder injury. That it was bad years ago now, but so it was bad. I had to work around it. Then I did some stuff that kind of improved it, but then it got stuck like at a semi level of pain and function or whatever. And then when I started cutting that summer with a lot of fasting, that's when I noticed like, oh shit, it feels perfect now. And so my theory here from experience and what I can put together from this is, again, of course, initially you need to put in the building blocks for the body to build this and do whatever, like movement and stuff that will allow healing to start. But I think fasting can help take away some of the like lingering inflammation. That's what I concluded in that case, because something I've experienced during this fast is I've had this hip injury for a long time, and it's been a little difficult sometimes to determine, is it getting better or worse, because it's changed a lot, like where I feel the most pain, which movements kind of work and don't. So it's been a little difficult to determine. But the fasts I've done before this one, I've really felt no improvement at all, and this has made me conclude, that okay, it's not just inflammation, something still needs healing there. And so for the last few weeks, I've taken a different approach with how I train. I've instead of trying to warm up for a long time and going for the heavy weights, I finally let go of the heavier weights for a while, and started at the highest weight that was pain-free to do squats, and kind of gradually progressed from that. And it's been feeling like it's been working well. And so on this fast, on the third day, really the level of pain was reduced a lot. So I would guess that I've actually managed to start healing this for a bit. There's still a lot, a way to go there, But it feels like I've healed some, and with a fast, removed some inflammation. So that's just a little take on fasting and healing injuries, how it can be implemented, that don't rely on the fast. Don't think that you're going to fast yourself into healing a joint or something that's, not the way it's supposed to be. But at some point, consider doing like a 3-day fast and see if the reduced inflammation from that will progress the healing or at least the pain you're feeling a bit more. Okay, something I've thought about on this fast too is movement, how important it is on the fast for the weight loss, because the body in general adapts to what you're doing, right? Even if we're not talking about fasting, if you're sitting for a long time, it's not only that you're not exerting so much energy sitting, the body will also notice that our energy demand isn't quite as high now, and kind of turn you down. Think of the human body in a sense like a car, that the car, when it drives at a fast speed, but constant speed, is not when it takes the most fuel for it. It's actually when it's, when you drive in the city and have to brake and accelerate and do this all the time, The human body is kind of the same. So I think a mistake can be on the fast to be I go for a long walk. On the fast, or I sit on my stationary bike for an hour, and then you don't move anymore throughout the fast, because this is again kind of a bro science take, just from my experience, is that I think the body adapts faster, because it will, when the body notices that no energy from the outside, it will be, it will want to give you energy when, if you need to hunt, that was our living situation, it will want to give you energy at those points, but when otherwise just try to preserve as much energy as possible. And it is my experience that it happens a lot faster on the fast. I was listening and responding to some voice messages, and when I was listening to some, I just lay down on my bed. I noticed very quickly when I was going to get up to reply, shit, I was feeling quite energetic just this moment ago, and I wasn't really feeling bad or anything, but I just could tell how fast my body had got into some more of a hibernation state, and so I think it's important on the fast to not only do something it's great if you want to go on a longer walk on the fast, but I think make sure that you're not sedentary for an extended amount of time during the day, if you can, that's why I think I've seen some people fast and lose really little weight, and I'm thinking, low metabolism from the lifestyle already, and just fasting and barely moving, the body's gonna adapt so much, so I would recommend even over the long walk, again, great if you want to do it, but just taking a short walk many times throughout the day, or getting up to do a little chore around the house, wash the dishes and put them where they're supposed to be, just movement, so because if you're completely still, the body is gonna drop the metabolism, energy expenditure so much. And that leads me to flow movement I put here. It's on one of the days of the fast, I went to the outdoor gym, and I basically just did strength and mobility stuff, but that just felt good, completely intuitive. And I think this is a great approach to training on the fast, because I talked about that before. I have a video called Why You Should Be Training Fasted, and the point is really not that you should be training fasted, but how to think about training when fasted. And I've said some people just go in blasting their workout as if they as they would any other time. But there's no point in breaking down muscle during a fast when you're not giving your body building blocks to repair it. But moving in other ways is of course good. I love that on the fast, to just, go and do different movements that kind of feel good, and, kind of just mobilize my body, lubricate the joints, use the muscles, get the body going like that. It's nice, I'm so used to always going in with like, I'm gonna smash this set, I'm gonna take it to the next level, I'm gonna try to stimulate hypertrophy and strength gains. But it's very nice to not be thinking like that. Like, I'm just gonna do what feels good for my body, movement that feels good, I probably let some clips of that run here on the side. I did the day after that, I went mostly for fun, to be honest, to the gym, kind of remind myself and people that you really are quite strong still when you're fasting. I did a 120 kilo post Larsen press, no problem, and I did a very easy 40 kilo chest to bar chin up. And it's just I've heard people so many times, I haven't had lunch yet, and I haven't eaten since this morning. How am I going to be able to train? As if you need to eat always, to have energy. Just shoving that in people's face, kind of, look, I basically have the same numbers, 4 days, 90 hours fasted I was, as when I'm fed, Like the one thing I will say is you basically keep all your strength when fasting. It's just that your stamina is a lot worse. If you did one set to failure, if you lose 1 or 2 reps normally, the next set you can lose like over half, basically. So yeah. But okay, so the last thing I can say, the weight loss, and to get back to why movement is important to keep energy expenditure up during the fast. I don't remember exactly now, like the jumps in my weight on my last fast, the 60-hour fast. But what I know is just that I know that from day 2 to 3, I lost more than I did last time. Like I started at like 89.3. I was down to 86.7 the next day, so always the biggest drop, when you get into the fast, and the gut becomes empty and all that, but so 86.7, and the day after that it was 85.3, and that was more than I expected, and I think it was because I was so active on that day throughout the whole day. I went on my own walk, but I also went to do little errands, doing some work shit. I went away, met a friend, we walked to the sauna, so I think I dropped more because I was just more active. The day after that, it was actually 85.3 again, which I don't believe. On the longer fast, I often run into this, that of course the weight loss will be smaller, the drops will be smaller day by day, basically, but also my scale is not, it's probably quite accurate enough, but it's just that it's not that exact. Like when it's if it's flipping between 2 choices, it's not like 0.5 and 0.6. It might be between 0.2 and 0.8, that it's flipping. So, it was the same on that day, but this morning it was like 84.1, I think. So basically 5 kilos lost here on the fast. Pretty good. I mean, I'm obviously going to gain some of that back now when I refeed. This time, that can be the last thing we talk about. I did a fast that was pretty much exactly the same length this winter, and after that fast, I basically gained all the weight back, like just immediately. And it was because I didn't do that fast for weight loss purposes. I did it like I've done it now every Christmas since I started fasting, and it was right before a bulk, so I didn't kind of care about preserving the weight loss from the fast. So I ate quite a bit, no junk, and quite high of every macronutrient, high carb, high fat, and so I put the weight back on easily then, and so now. When I actually, part of the reason for doing the fast is cutting, I'll watch my intake a little bit more carefully. I still want to, especially after a longer fast, on like the first 2 days, eat a little bit more than I will on the days to come, but not to go crazy with it. So I'm going to keep fat a little lower. I, as someone who trains, want to get in as many carbs as I can without making the total amount of calories too high. But so I'll eat 3 times today and tomorrow, just make sure I don't go crazy on the size of everything, and then I'll start doing 2 meals a day for most days, I think. I've done that a lot already. That's something we kind of revisit, the idea of cutting on a daily deficit versus cutting with fasting. I have some new thoughts about it. But yeah, guys, I think that's all for the catch-up video. So I hope there was some informational little tidbits in there. I will be putting, part of the reason I took a break from, or like uploaded the videos less frequent was I did get sick and all that, but like I said, I've had a lot of real life shit to deal with also, but I will start putting out more videos. I can't promise a certain uploading schedule, but at least weekly videos for sure. Please keep the suggestions coming. I will do most of them. There are some I won't. There was one about full day of eating because I'm not that fucking kind of influencer. Like, I'm not ragging on you who suggested that, but the fitness industry is fucking bullshit. It's a fucking joke. Most of them. Many of these influencers, they do the full day of eating video. It contains literally no useful information for you. It's just kind of a facade for, this is really what my gains came from, not all the steroids I secretly inject into my butt cheek, And I eat such a boring diet that it's nothing to fucking show. I'd rather just tell you, it would be such a boring video. You want to see me sit there and eat my beef patties and rice after snacking on a carrot, I could, tell you a bit about my diet, but what I'm saying is it's not really my thing. So I appreciate all the suggestions. I will do most of them. I can't do just everything though. But if you want to know more about my diet, tell me in the comments here too. So like, comment, subscribe, all those things, guys. Good to see you. I'm going to enjoy breaking a fast here soon. And yeah, catch you later, guys. Peace.